Fellow tennis nerds, I hope you are well. The French Open has finished. Today we're going to talk about pro player rackets, pro player specs. There's going to be sheep making noises in the background because I'm in the countryside, but I'm going to try to get through this video anyway. I prefer shooting outside than shooting inside. Congrats to Alexander Zverev, congrats to Mira Andreeva, the two French Open winners in the men's and the female category. I'm actually testing Andreeva's endorsed racket, the Blade 100 Pro right now. Used to be called Steam 100 BLX. That's the mold. This one is very similar in terms of specs, somewhat different in terms of layup. Feels like the strings have a little bit less life here. Henrik said as much before I tried it. I can confirm that his opinions seem to be in tune with mine. Shh. Zverev, back and forth between Gravity Pro, Gravity Tour. He's one of those guys that is the toughest to string for on tour. We had my buddy Melvin here talking about that you have to actually watch his match and be really ready to go. I've heard rumors that he only brings 2 rackets on the court and then he wants everything with on-court stringing, meaning that you have to actually bring it when he wants it for the match. So a stringer has to be really on his game and be ready to change some small parameters on his rackets. Sometimes it's 0.1 kilo, meaning 100 grams. I've seen his tension be generally around 19.1 for the mains, which is a poly, a Hawk Touch, and 20.1 for the gut, natural gut. Pretty low tension, Gravity Tour 100. That mold a little bit thicker, 22 millimeter, not 20. He has more power. It seems to have worked very well for his game. Now he has his first slam. He already has an Olympic gold. He can be pretty content. We will see if he can get some more Grand Slam titles in his career. If we talk about Kouame, another finalist, before we get into grass court season, before we get into Kouame's specs and so on, Kouame, the Signum Pro Firestorm, the same string that Berrettini uses. So as you know, like these things can be cultural. You might have noticed that a lot of Italian players play head rackets. Is it because Head Italy does the best marketing in the region? Maybe. I don't know. Is it because they try each other's rackets and they're like, oh, I like this, I should also play this? Or is it something else? It's tough to say, but usually you find these kind of patterns culturally. In like one market, there's one brand very popular. In one country, there's another brand that's popular, and so on. Kouame strings around 26 kilos, 57 pounds for his setup. Another player, great round at the French Open, lost to Zverev in the semifinals, is Jakub Mensik, playing with the Blade V10, and that is the actual mold, the new 1820. He actually played an older Blade 1819 for a while, but when he got his new mold, it was 1820. And that's what I heard from very reliable sources, that it's actually that racket that he's using. I don't know the specs though. I don't know the string tension of all the power that he's putting in there. So as usual, please comment on Instagram, send me a message there, or comment below the video, or comment on tennisnerd.net. Especially we have articles for each player. Maybe we missed someone. Please help us fill those in with some comments. But you can always go on tennisnerd.net, use the search function, look for the player profile and racket of a certain player, and that should hopefully help you out. I would like to have more specs about Szwalinska, the Polish superstar Maya there, but I only know that she's using a Speed MP and has been using it for a long time, if you go back in the archives. I did forget to mention that Andreeva did switch some time back from Luxlon 4G to Olu Power. A bit more of a spinny string in my opinion, a little bit more lively. I also have the specs of a guy that is currently injured. I found out today that he has some elbow issues. Sorry to see that. A lot of pros struggling with their elbows, probably more than you imagine. There's a lot of overuse. So one is Moise Kouame. I don't know exactly what's the background of his injury or how extreme it is or how small it is, but he's going to be out for a few weeks, it sounds like. He plays now the Wilson P98, a pretty recent switch. And he plays it at 308 grams. This is unstrung specs, 31.7 centimeters balance, and 292 swing weight. So pretty low. We talked about a lot, you know, that these swing weights are going down. And here's another player with a really low swing weight. I talked about Lerner Tien's swing weight being very low. I talked about Bublik's swing weight being crazy low. Here we have Kouame. So don't be afraid to play with a light racket. I have a string here that is coming out in the end of June, and it's called Vamos. What a silly name, you might say. I thought the name was great because I kind of came up with it, but it's my collaboration string with Toraline. So Tourline X Tennis Nerd equals Vamos. It's a 6-sided string, hexagonal string in latte colorway, like a milky coffee colorway. I like this color because it looks good in like black rackets, which I usually enjoy. We did try a lot of strings. This one is a hexagonal one based on A5. So I did really like A5 when they brought it out, but I prefer strings with a bit more grab, like some sharpness to them. I feel the ball really is caught on the strings. I feel like I have a bit more confidence with that. I think like they last a bit longer overall, which I think for most of you is something appreciated. This one holds tension crazy well. I was actually surprised how well it held tension. This one I really like, and I played it in my head speed, and I really enjoyed it. Tried it also in the Aero 98, really enjoyed it. I've tried it in a bunch of rackets, Prince Tours. Also be giving away a few sets together with Eric on Instagram. So go on Instagram, Tennis Nerd Insta. Just comment Vamos on our Vamos post, and you might win a set. Okay, back to the grass. Equipment changes. Tension should go up in general. I think that is supposed to happen really, because you are going to take the ball earlier. It's going to be skidding through. You want to have maximum precision. Launch angles need to be lower. Everything has to be lower pretty much except tensions. And so you're going to hit like with less spin. You have to be more precise. Grass is so quick. Maybe some players still prefer going low and staying low in tension, but overall I think you would see maybe 1-2 kilos more on most guys' rackets compared to the clay, where you're playing long rallies and you want a bit of free spin on your racket and free launch. But in grass, no, this is going to be different. Obviously, you're kind of maximizing for your serve and return, because that is so important on every surface, but especially on grass. Not my favorite sometimes to watch. Love Wimbledon, but like some of the events leading up to it can be a bit boring. But we have Kyrgios back in Stuttgart. Corentin Moutet with a white racket, not the Fire, something else. I know Technofiber, they have some new spin prototype. Maybe it's that one that he's testing. Jacqueline Christian from a Wilson Blade to E-Zone 98. Interesting change. Bublik has revealed the continuation of his project with Diadem. As you can see in this one, it's a bit of a preview of what they're working on, whether it's a cosmetic or it's something completely new. Time will tell. If you see any equipment changes, let me know. There was one equipment change I was asked about by Brad Gilbert, because I was on the tennis channel for a quick segment when I went to the French Open. It's not live yet. It's going to be out as a separate little interview. Big fan of Winning Ugly, so it's cool to see Brad. Did not bring a copy for him to sign, but he had some good equipment questions. He's a bit of an equipment nerd himself, having a tennis shop and all that. So he asked me about Serena Williams' setup. She's back now playing doubles for now, and with Mboko, the Blade 102, her signature racket. So what they did was they reduced the weight, they reduced the head size. She has more control, because she used to play with quite a hammer of a racket. I don't know how she controlled it. It was 18-19 string pattern, but 104 square inch head size, and 361 swing weight, 28-inch length. So this one is a little bit more neutered and a little bit more controlled, which I think works because she hits big anyway. So interesting to follow Serena and what she will do. She obviously plays a gut hybrid as well, as so many players do. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice day now, and don't forget to play some tennis.